11:06. Starting a little bit late.
Good morning, Judge and Commissioners.
Let me read the item first for the record.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
This workshop's purpose: number one, the AgriLife Department will present its annual interpretation to Commissioners Court. Ms. Foster.
Okay, good morning. Thank you so much for allowing us to have this public workshop to showcase what has been going on at the Extension Office. I hope this workshop helps to get a better understanding of our multifaceted office. Today we have some wonderful individuals that I can't thank enough that will speak on programs and experience at the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension. As you know, for the 2018, we have 2 agents, 1 program assistant, and 2 administrative assistants. With the programs that we put on, we could not do anything without the help of volunteers. If you would look through our Make a Difference document, I will start with some of the programs that I have done for the 2018 year. Of course, you know, I'm Fallon Foster, and my title for Extension is I'm the Family Community Health Agent. And so some of the things that I get to do, of course, I get to work with adults and youth, but some of the programs that I like to put on, of course, is diabetes education, because, you know, it's, you know, obesity rate and our health issues in Orange County. So we like to put on a lot of wellness education, cooking, demonstration type stuff. We try to do a lot of hands-on things. With the diabetes education, we try to go throughout the community. So whether it be, we try to hit like Orange County, Orange, Vida, Mauriceville, Bridge City. I worked a lot with TAN this year as well. But we try to give some education on diabetes. We even had a fresh fun food and fitness where we did cooking demonstrations. We also had physical activity and a nutrition lesson. We also did cooking with Rocky and stuff like that. So we try to bring some different opportunities with that. But also we had our senior citizen rally day. That's a big health fair for seniors, and usually we have at least 300 plus people at that event. And actually we're about to have 50 years. Last year was the 49th annual. So actually it's been going on with the extension agent 49 years, so I just continuing the process. Senior Rally Day. So, I can't call her name right now, but she actually started it in 1969 or 68, and ever since then it's been continuing on.
It had a big year this year.
Yes.
It's definitely bigger than last year.
Yes, and so we'll have our 50th next year in 2019. And so with that, we try to put on like summer programs for the youth to try to get them involved with 4-H and different events like that. And then, of course, I do food protection management and certified food managers courses. And then also we have our Better Living Protection program assistant that does some nutrition education. So that's just a brief overview of some of the things that I actually do. But I have Mr. James Scales that will come up and kind of speak on the behalf of some of the programs that I have.
Good morning. How you guys doing?
Good morning.
Back in 2015, the state required that all food service employees have a food safety education class. That's when we decided we would team up with Fallon. She's the only one in the county that teaches our food handlers and certified food manager certificates. Actually, she's the only one just about in the area that does that. So we're glad that we do that. I'm also a board member of her Helping on Purpose Every Day. We do like the, I went blank, kids cooking camp. We do like the, where you at? What other, we do kids cooking camp, we do sewing. Yeah. Now the kids cooking camp, we opened it up to the first 60 kids. It started, you could register at midnight on a Monday night. By 9 a.m. we had 60 kids signed up, and by 3 o'clock we had another 35 on a waiting list. We had to stop it, you know. So if you ever get a chance this summer, you know, I think one of the girls is here with the kids cooking camp, so you know, that's a good thing. We just did a meat canning class. I'm not a cooker. I'm not anything like that. I went through the class. Pretty interesting to can meat. We did pork and chicken. She's done jam, jelly. She's done all kind of stuff. So you know, we try to bring the old stuff back. You know, the sewing and stuff like that. So we're excited. We also got some grant funding from DuPont and from BASF and from Energy for our kids cooking camp. We also partner up with adult probation. They try to help us out with certain things. So we're excited that, you know, we partner with a lot of people. So, but if you guys get a chance, come to one of Fallon's many things that she does. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
And we have Tommy Byers.
Well, good morning. My name is Tommy Byers, and I am the Better Livings for Texans Program Assistant, and I work along with Fallon. And what I do is I go out through the community, and I teach health and nutrition to the underserved community is our main focus. And in front of you, I gave you a recipe, and I also gave you a cutting board, and those are some of the incentives that we give out to those individuals. And on there, it has different information, and it shows basically how to wash your hands, how to properly prepare your fruits and vegetables, and how to properly, the temperatures for meat and stuff is on there as well. And we also will show them, because we want them to try to eat healthier. Our main focus is to try to, hopefully they can eat healthier so that they don't stay sick all the time. So ways that we do that is that we take them food models, and we'll show them, like, this is a donut, and then this is ice cream, and we show them the different calorie intakes versus the fats of grams and stuff like that, so that they get a better understanding of how the numbers work, and they get a visual aid of what it looks like. This past year, we also did a youth program where we did balanced food and play, and we got 58 youth to participate in that, and we taught the youth about eating healthier and snack choices that they can pick at home versus eating ice cream. Maybe they can eat celery, or, you know, ways to incorporate it into a healthier way. It went really good, like, because we gave it to them and they let them prepare it. And if, right, now if kids actually, we learned that if kids get a hand-on approach of things, they're more likely to try it versus somebody just giving it to them. But we also, in that program, we taught them the importance of going outside and playing, which in this day and time is really hard because we're more of a technology-based society. So that was something we did. We also, with the Better Livings for Texans program, is we did our first annual fall festival. And we had at least about 56 people participate in our first year. We taught them about gardening. We partnered with the master gardeners and taught them how to create a container garden to go home, and hopefully they can grow gardens. We taught them about recipes that they could make. And we also just showed them different games that they could do that didn't require them to spend a whole lot of money, but they can do it as a family. So that was our main focus for that. And so we just try to get more involved in the community as possible. But thank y'all.
If Blue Gum came up with the cream of celery ice cream, maybe you
Maybe so. I don't know.
Sounds delicious.
I don't know how good it sounds, but but no, I do know that you can make broccoli into rice and stuff like that. So that's different ways that you can incorporate, and cauliflower too.
Tastes
And
great,
so-
gumbo.
Oh, I don't know about that, but okay.
Cauliflower,
But,
you
yeah.
know, like cauliflower, you put enough butter and cheese and garlic in it, it's almost like
Tastes
mashed
right.
Yeah, cheese is the key factor, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy.
Okay, and then now we'll have Ms. London Stroud to come up and speak about youth cooking camp.
My name is London Stroud. I'm in the 6th grade. I did the youth cooking class. We did different types of food, like Italian food, and I'm sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Don't be surprised.
You're fine.
What school did you go to?
West Orange. We did Italian food. It was really fun, and I enjoyed it, and I hope to come back next year, or this year. I hope to go back.
What kind of Italian food did y'all cook?
So at one point, we made like a dessert, and then we made like pasta. We did, I think it was something that we fried, and then we put like cheese on top. I don't remember what it was called.
See, there we go. The cheese thing. There we go. We're good with the cheese
I don't
thing.
remember what it was called,
You
but it
gotta
was,
have your dairy products.
Gotta have cheese thing.
I know it's not healthy, but I've already trained my 6-year-old grandson. You can never have too much. He knows the answers: bacon and cheese.
And your dessert?
yeah, that's what it was. That's it. Yeah.
And how about your dessert? What'd you make for dessert?
It was a chocolate mousse or something.
Well, what we try to do, of course, there is some unhealthy stuff, but we try to incorporate some healthy things. Like, for instance, like eggplant. Try to introduce them to vegetables that they never had before. So it probably was type of, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever eaten
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Maryland makes it. Yeah.
Luigi's has got a really good one.
You got them all off on a tangent.
Tell us almost lunchtime.
Bring with you.
I haven't seen eggplant in the Cajun recipe yet. So.
Oh, I got to take home a book with all the recipes that we did.
Huh?
They gave us a water bottle. They gave us a whole bag of stuff. It was a good bag. I liked it.
Have you tried any?
Nice little
Have you
swag
tried
bag,
any
you know?
recipes at home yet? Have you tried any?
Yes, sir.
And
It turned out good.
there you go. You put cheese on it too.
But you had fun and you want to go back.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, good deal, good deal.
About how long you been doing that?
Last year was my first year.
It was your first year. What made you want to get into it?
Yeah.
I thought it would be fun.
Was it? Take
And
friends?
and I did the sewing class before that.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, that's great.
Very good.
What'd you like about the sewing class? Did you make something?
I made a stuffed animal.
Oh, very
It was
good.
fun. It was cute. Yeah, and a bag. Yeah. It was like a star printed bag, and then it was like the stuffed animal was a frog.
Oh.
You still have the frog.
He's somewhere. The hurricane got to us.
Oh, there you
Oh,
go.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
Yeah.
Well, these are some things you're learning that you're going to use the rest of your life.
Good thing.
Being single for a while, I learned how to sew a little bit, mainly just putting buttons on a shirt, but things like that, especially cooking. That's what I say, I like to cook because I like to eat, and I like it made a certain way. So if you like to eat, then you cook it yourself, and that way it tastes the way you want it to taste.
I wish my wife would have had a chance to go to a cooking school.
I won't tell her.
This is on record.
You're being recorded, Johnny.
This is recorded. We're going to be able to show her this.
It's Johnny.
Oh, yeah. Thank you very much. You did a great job.
You did good.
Okay, now I have Miss Addison Bandy to come up.
My name is Addison Bandy. I'm 11 years old and go to school at Bridge City Middle School. I've been in 4-H for a year and a half. During that time, I have been a member of Boots and Bridles Horse Club, Mighty Pirates Livestock Club, and Dusty Trails Project Club. I have also participated in horse judging, livestock judging, record book, sewing, and fashion storyboard. During the summer, I attended cooking camp, canning and bread making, etiquette, and table manners, and outdoor awareness. Cooking camp was especially fun because I had my cousins spend the week with me. We all enjoyed spending time together and learning recipes we can make for our families. I joined 4-H because I wanted to get involved in raising livestock. I have had 3 lambs. I enjoy showing lambs with my family on the weekends. I was surprised how many other 4-H activities I could be involved in. This year, I hope to compete in photography. 4-H has taught me confidence, public speaking, responsibility, knowledge of animals, friendship, and money management. I am thankful for the opportunities 4-H has provided, and I know that my 4-H experience will impact my life forever.
And it will. I'm going to put you on the spot. What's the 4-H's?
Head, heart, health, hands.
Very good. Thanks, people.
Yeah, you've been busy too, as much stuff as you've been involved with. That's good though. You're staying that way. I mean, as you grow older, you're going to stay engaged as long as you can. I'm just curious. I like that. How'd you come out with showing your lambs?
YMBL last year I got second, but I did not make the cell. In this last cell, I got second in my class, showmanship, and made the cell.
At YMBL? Wow.
At YMBL was the first year. This last past one was Orange County.
Oh, okay. I got a niece that was showing with you. She was in her division. She got second. I said, "Oh, that's good." She goes, "They were only 2 in her division." So I told her, "In the future, don't say that last part."
Yeah.
That sounds like you had a lot of fun doing that too.
Yes, her and Grace, they practice together.
I'll do that.
First
Okay.
together.
Yeah. Oh, you know Grace.
Because you hear people all the time, they get animals, dogs, cats, and they say, "Dad, I'll take care of them." And they don't. You end up doing it, but it sounds like you kind of handled it all.
She does.
That's good.
She's very
That's excellent.
responsible, and she's out there every morning feeding her lamb.
That's
She's
good.
out there every evening. You know, if there's medication to give, she's the one learning how to do it.
Wow.
That's
You have
good.
best in show at YMBL that shows you spending time with the animals.
That's good. It shows the discipline. That's a big thing nowadays. Discipline. Proud of you for doing that. It's
Discipline
good.
and commitment.
Thank you.
So it's very good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
What's your belt buckle? I have to ask you.
It's my last Orange County one.
Oh, okay. I was just wondering if
For
you were
showmanship.
barrels, or did any rodeo.
I do a little bit of barrels, but I haven't done it in a while.
You got a lot on your plate right now.
Yeah, busy.
Good morning. Thank you guys for being here and having us. We really appreciate it. As you guys know, my name is Heston Henry. I'm the ag agent here for a couple more days here in Orange County. Can you get my email?
Yep.
Burton, Commissioner Burton, he's looking confused.
Oh, no, I did not.
Yes, sir. I'm going to pursue some more opportunities in Fort Worth. But we've had a great year here in Orange County in 2018. We're going to go over a couple programs that we've had here. I've got some awesome people and volunteers. Some awesome people and volunteers that are going to talk about some of the things that we do here on the ag and natural resource side. I'm just going to kind of do a kind of brief overview over some of those. Definitely, you've already heard a little bit of it, of the 4-H with Addison and some of the camps and stuff that we do. That's all youth related. We're also going to kind of talk over the Michael Hoke Outdoor Awareness. That's an awesome program that we put on every year to remember a man that has done so much for this community. Our Egg to Chick program with Mr. Van Marion. That's something that we do within the elementary schools, public schools here in Orange County that the youth get a lot out of. And then, of course, just all of our ag and natural resource programs that we do as well. One thing we want to focus on is our beef and forage education. One thing that I put in this document that you'll read that I kind of just want to highlight is I said cornerstone members of the community can be easily identified. The fact that these individuals are also beef cattle producers is no coincidence. When I came into the county, Ms. Stephen Michelle and Les Daigle were two people that just really stood out to me as somebody that stayed engaged and were servants and had servant hearts here in the community. And the fact that those people are involved with beef cattle production is no coincidence. That's something that's really huge here in Orange County, and so our programs try to reflect that as well, because that just relates to the needs of our programs. Getting to kind of some of the apiary stuff that I'm doing with Mr. Lynn. He's one of our master beekeepers. So this gentleman knows more about bees than I know about agriculture as a whole. He's just an awesome information source. So having him here as a volunteer and his wife DeWanna in the Extension Service has just been a completely big blessing for us. One thing that Fallon and I kind of do together is related to ag literacy. That's something that just as we get more and more removed away from the farm, kids really need to understand where their food comes from, how it comes from the pasture to their plate, the process that it goes through. And as we educate them on that, they can make healthier decisions, because it's our belief that if they have the correct information about their food, that they're going to make healthier choices just because they're more informed. Touching once again on our kind of the youth in agriculture and natural resource side. So Fallon and I kind of share 4-H responsibilities with the 4-H agent being out, or not that position not being filled. So we kind of played our pros and cons, our strengths. So she kind of relates more to the food side and the health and the well-being there, and then I kind of relate more to the agriculture side. But the ag side in the whole, we have what's called our Big Five projects in 4-H, and livestock projects is one of those, and it's just something that really gravitates a lot of people to 4-H in Orange County. It's one of our biggest clubs, is our Mighty Pirates Club, and they're kind of founded in livestock, chickens, rabbits, steers, pigs, cattle. It's a really big part of what we do there, and it's vital to educating our youth and giving them a lot of opportunities. I was blessed enough to get a scholarship through 4-H to go to college, so that's what some of the things that these kids are working towards, is having the ability and opportunity to do some of that. But we're going to go ahead and get into our volunteers and let them come up here and explain it for themselves. So this is Miss Catalina Walters. She's one of our 4-H members, and she's going to talk to you guys today.
My name is Catalina Walters. I'm 12 years old, and I go to Orangeville Junior High. I have been in 4-H for 3 years, I believe. 3 years, yes. The reason I joined is because one of my mom's friends invited me to go to an overnight sleep over there. And it was really fun, and I decided to go again after I started getting more clubs. So far, I've been doing things like cooking, sewing. I've been volunteering for the Clover Kids in other events, such as Special Angels Rodeo. Things I do there, I go on competitions such as fashion storyboard, barbecue cook-off. I enjoy it here because it gives me like a second home, because at my school there's not a lot of outside activities besides sports and stuff, and I don't like to do sports a lot. I like to do more of inside things like reading and sewing and cooking. So 4-H gives me the opportunities to do things like that. So I'm glad that I'm able to come to 4-H to do this, to do things that I like and to pursue in them, so I can have a better future.
You've been going to Orangefield, since first grade?
No. At first, I used to go to St. Anne's Catholic School, but in second grade, I transferred to Orangefield.
Did you have Miss Burton in fourth grade? Reading?
Yes, sir.
She likes to read.
Tell us about what you do with County Council.
With the Youth County Council, what we do is we help plan things for 4-H, like the Christmas party, and like what we're doing right now is we're making a tree for we're going to decorate a tree for tree at Shangri-La. We're making different ornaments, like we're inviting people over to come paint cups and salt dough clovers that we have made. They can paint them, and we'll hang them up on our tree at Shangri-La.
And you took the cooking class too, you said?
Yes, sir.
Have you tried any recipes at home yet?
Yes, sir. Every year after cooking camp, they send home a book of all the recipes.
Right.
And, my mom always opens it up, and she's all like, oh, let's make this. And I'm like, okay. So I help her, and I make it with her, and it's very good.
Good. So successful so far, huh? So, yeah, because it's different when you go from the class to home, and you kind of get to experiment a little bit, have a little bit different experience. So that's good.
Yeah, I use recipes as a guideline.
Yeah.
Nothing I make ever tastes the same twice. We'll tell you that.
It's just a concept.
So you put Tony Sacheries in everything, right?
Yeah, well, I always have a little more garlic.
So what is your
inside.
favorite 4-H activity?
I would have to say sewing, because I want to pursue a career in fashion when I get older.
Oh, very good.
And I like to sew. I've learned more about it, and so far I have made first place in one of my fashion storyboards that I did this year. I was very proud of it.
Very good. Very good.
Very good.
What's your last name again, Ken?
Walters.
And I'm sorry, what grade did you say you were in?
7th.
7th grade? Do you have a lot of friends over in Orangefield? Some of them are involved as well?
Yes. I believe I've gotten 2 of my friends from Orangefield to come over and start doing 4-H.
That's great. The thing is what I've been hearing, and you hit on it yourself, sir, is that we are a technology-based society. Unfortunately, sometimes that means a lot of folks your age sit at home and sit on social media or play with whatever video games attached to the TV, and they don't just. It's not just learning how to cook. It's not just learning how to deal with the animals. It's also learning to deal with other people. And it sounds to me like you have a great organization for going around and interacting with your friends, doing something productive and learning how to talk to folks, which seems to be a lost art. If you can't type it, it seems like people can't say it. And you guys are definitely going to be the exception as you get older. It's something to be very proud of.
Thank
At
you.
your age, to stand up here, and hopefully we're not that intimidating, but to stand up here and make this presentation says a lot about what you've been doing. So you did a very good job.
Thank you.
Well, and to have an idea already of what you would like to pursue as a career and already making advances towards that, doing storyboard competitions and things to that nature, and you said you like to read, and that you're building towards your future, and at that young of age to have an idea where she wants to go, it's very good. It's impressive.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Good luck with your,
Thank
you.
good luck with your dream.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay. If we can have Mr. Kevin Norton to please come and speak.
Do we have to?
Just for a minute.
No, I'm not just here for looks today. I'm actually here for a purpose. I've been blessed, one, to be an alumni of the 4-H program here in Orange County. I'm also a member of the Leadership Advisory Board that oversees all extension programs within the county. So I have an exposure to a lot of the different programs, both on the health and wellness side as well as the ag and 4-H side. So it has kind of brought new perspective, seeing some of the things that I didn't participate in when I was in 4-H. I don't think a lot of these kids realize, they're learning how to cook. They're learning, they're having all these fun things. They don't realize that they're learning responsibility. They're learning leadership traits. I can tell you when I started 4-H at 8 years old, I wouldn't stand in front of a room and tell you hi, much less speak in front of, last year I spoke in front of 70,000 people in Reliant Stadium. So they're learning that, like you've seen, to get up in front of people and be able to communicate their beliefs, their feelings, and the support for their program. So I don't think they realize just yet how big of an impact this 4-H program is really having on their life long term. So it's really nice as an alumni and seeing the successes that I've been able to enjoy to see new generations experiencing that as well. A lot of our programs do overlap, so that's where we've seen a lot of great working together between our staff. They are stretched thin, trying to do as many programs as they can and touch as many people in the county as they can, but they make it work somehow. Been blessed to see a lot of kids come through our programs to the point, like James said, our cooking camp fills up so fast that we've had to actually ask people that once you've been in cooking camp 2 years, you take a year off so that we can have some other kids exposed to that and learn some of those lessons that are offered there, because it's fun, but it's a lot of lessons that go into that are going to be very valuable to them moving forward. 4-H statewide, or nationwide really, has kind of struggled over the last several years, and we've actually started seeing an uptick in membership across the country. So we're starting to see that slowly trickle, just like you see in anything else. You start seeing it in your bigger areas, and then it starts trickling down into the more rural areas. And so we're actually starting to see those numbers go back up. And a lot of that is as a direct result of what our staff does and of the programs that they're getting out there and exposing so many different people to. We're gaining volunteers from that. We're also gaining a lot of new 4-H members from that. And so I think the biggest takeaway at the end of the day is that, yes, they're doing a lot of great projects. They're learning how to cook. They're learning how to sew. They're raising animals. They're doing public speaking. They're doing all these different things. But in the end, we're creating better citizens for our future because they're learning a lot of life lessons. And they're learning things that, like I said, right now, I don't think they realize that they're learning the leadership ability, because God knows with society today, everybody likes to hide behind a keyboard. Nobody wants to get out and speak in front of people. Nobody wants to stand up for what they believe in. And nobody wants to take leadership of groups or of, who knows, one of these days these kids that we've seen may be sitting in your seats after y'all retired and they've come in. That's what we're building. We're building better citizens. We're building better leaders. And we're just building our future completely in all different facets. So it's been a great program, and it's an honor to be able to work with the program in many different roles and kind of help guide that forward so that our kids can continue to benefit from it.
So
Thank you, Kevin.
we had, I was fortunate I had 2 kids that went through 4-H and
Yes.
went through the shooting programs or things like that. But I got to know a lot of kids through that, probably 40 or 50 kids through the years that we were involved with it. You know, and it's been several years ago now. I look back at a lot of those kids today who have went through college and they went through in their successful careers. And you know, you look back at some of the, like you said, the skills that they're learning today that they really don't know they're learning. But
Right.
they got to be presidents. They got to have their club. They got to be vice. Got to be treasurers, and all these things that they do at that level. That whenever they get out into the working world, as we like to call it, I
Right.
guess, they have those skills already, and they just didn't know they had them. And it makes them good leaders and good people in our community and successful in their own right or whatever it is they choose to do.
Right. The other thing, too, is that I don't think they realize the networks that they're building. Perfect example, in the last few weeks, I've been on the road quite a bit. I work with the Extension Service. I work with Special Angels. I'm the board president at CASA. So I'm kind of involved in a lot of stuff. But even through my CASA work, my 4-H experience has come into play in the network that I've built. A few weeks ago, I was in Rosenberg at Lamar Junior High. I needed to see a kid that's on one of our cases. Needed a little more information than a 12-year-old kid, 12 or 13-year-old kid was willing to just kind of open up and give. His principal, the head principal at that school, is somebody that I served on District 4-H Council with when I was in 4-H. So I was able to make that connection and use that to get information I didn't have. I traveled to Lubbock to see another kid, another girl that I served on council with, who's originally from the Houston area, is now the chief of staff for the chancellor's office at Texas Tech University System. So I was able to use that connection to get into some places up there that I needed to go. So we're building them personally, but they're building a network that's going to serve them throughout their lives, because I know it sure has served me.
Yeah. And the key to it is they're having fun. Sometimes they don't realize what they're learning.
Right.
Keep their attention and keep them coming back.
Yes, sir.
I think they're just fishing, right? It's
Pretty-
kind of the deal. Yeah.
We're fishing for whatever we can get out of them, and they're gonna, like I said, they're having fun now, but they're gonna realize later on they've learned a lot along the way through it that they didn't realize. So, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Okay, if we can get Mr. Lynn Van Marion to come up.
Good morning. A couple of programs that my wife and I are involved with. She's not here today. She's a retired school teacher, and she's helping at one of the schools. But the Egg to Chick program is dear to her heart. She's a biology, chemistry, and physics retired teacher, so the Egg to Chick program is one of them that we do here with about half a dozen of the elementary and I guess intermediate schools. It gives the kids an opportunity to see hands-on part of what the Texas Educational Assistance Program requires of the teachers to teach. It gives them an opportunity to see the environment, the importance of the temperature and the humidity, the content. They get to see the life cycle of that chick from the egg to the time it hatches. The AgriLife program has all of the equipment, provides the incubators, the brooders. They have educational assistance. So the kids get to witness all of that as it goes through. So we work with that program. Secondly, I'm a member of the apiary committee. I'm one of the few master beekeepers in the state of Texas, certified through the Texas Apiary Inspection Service. Several of the agents ago, we started working with the apiary committee, and originally did classes through AgriLife. Lamar University, Lamar Orange, now has the beekeeping program. They're teaching classes there, and we've kind of backed off of the teaching piece and try to do more assistance. We've got a pretty good group going. We have a group that now meets once a month at La Cantina. We have 20 to 30 people that show up every month. We have a store here in the Orange County that carries beekeeping supplies. We've got a lot of things that have come out of that little program. We've got a lot of beekeepers in the Orange area, which is something was not here very many years ago. So I just want to encourage you to continue those programs and supporting the programs. My wife works with the cooking camp. She works with the sewing camp. All of those activities are, I've got 4 grandkids that have been going to them and look forward to them every summer. But those programs are, because all the mothers work now. You don't have the activities at home that you used to have. So for those kids to be able to go through cooking and sewing and some of the other activities that go on here in the summer, you can't get that anywhere else. So I need to encourage you to continue to fund those programs. We need a replacement for Heston. Don't dally with that one. And as a master beekeeper, I'm going to tell you that 45% of all the bees in the United States die every year. 85% of the honey sold in the U.S. comes from Vietnam, India, and Brazil. If you go to the grocery store and buy a bottle of honey and it says Texas, it's probably got honey from India and Vietnam in it, because the law in the United States is so poor that somebody can import honey from somewhere else, package it, and say it's from Texas.
Do they blend it, or is it just 100% from foreign?
Anything. Can be any of the above. The law.
Buy my honey locally.
So if you don't know the beekeeper, the honey you're eating is coming from India, Vietnam, or Brazil, most likely. So you got to know where it's coming from, which is kind of a shame if you go to Market Basket or you go somewhere and it says Texas honey. The only thing you got was something that was packaged in the United States.
How's the bee population in the county? I was sitting on the front porch the other day. We got Mexican heather, and bees are all over.
Actually, because of the number of beekeepers we have here now, we've got a really good group of hobbyists. So we've got a pretty good population of honeybees in Orange County. In March and April, you'll see a lot of hives along Interstate 10, off 87. There's about 500,000 hives come through Texas, southeast Texas, in March and April. 1.8 million hives go to California to pollinate the almonds. There's only 2.5 million hives in the United States. So 75% of all the hives in the country are in California in February for the almonds. They all come back through this way, or a lot of them do. And in southeast Texas, there's about 6 queen breeders that raise about 500,000 queens that are sold to those big commercial beekeepers that come through so they can split their hives, try to get their numbers back up. So they lose about half of them in the process every year. So there's a pretty good sized industry in southeast Texas. I will tell you that almost none of that is in Orange County, unfortunately. There's not any commercial beekeepers in Orange County. There's one in Beaumont that has a lot of hives here in Orange County, but most of us are all hobbyists. We've got anywhere from 1, 2, 3 hives. I've got a few more than that. I think I've got 44, 45 now, but I'm one of the bigger hobbyists in the area. But if you're not, but the programs that we've got going on through AgriLife to give people an idea of what it takes to be a beekeeper, how to get started. We're supporting the program out of Lamar. We've got a group going on at La Cantina that meets first Tuesday every month. So we've got a lot of things that we're trying to do to help educate, speak at garden clubs, and any opportunity that we get to be able to encourage beekeeping. The group that we work with also does a lot of public service. We'll go take bees out of somebody's house at no charge. We'll remove them from a tree, a barn, a dog house, a mailbox, it doesn't matter. And we do that generally at no charge. There are some folks that charge, but most of the folks that work with me through the apiary committee and over at La Cantina, we all do it at no charge. So trying to be a service organization also. So anyway, I just encourage you to continue your funding and support of the AgriLife program. It means a lot, and it has grown as we go. So thank you.
Thank you.
Have Ms. Sherry Bethard to speak.
We're going to try this again this year because last year I had problems talking and I've got that crud again this year. I'm Sherry Bethard. I'm president of the Master Gardeners Association here in Orange. And 2018 has been a lot better year for us than 2017 was because about half our members since 2017 had been flooded. So a lot of those have gotten back, finished with their houses and stuff, or to the point where they can get back into Master Gardeners, which is very good for us. So now we can get involved in stuff better. Because we have 19 members in our club right now, which is way down from what it used to be years ago. This summer, we did our annual Master Gardener training, inviting people to come in and take the course so they can eventually be certified to be a Texas Master Gardener. We had 23 people sign up for the class, which is the most that have signed up for a class since I was trained in 2010. We were just really shocked because at the last minute, people were walking in the door, and I wasn't here, but the vice president was throwing handbooks together, the training material, at the last minute to take care of these people who said, okay, I want to take it, and hadn't given us any advance warning. So we started with 23. We had 4 people that ended up having to drop out because of personal reasons, but they do hope to come back and complete the course in future years. Of the 19 that were left in the course, 15 of them have actually completed their classroom part. There were a few that have not been able to complete their classroom because of work commitments on the nights that we held classroom and had our field trips and such. But they do plan on trying to complete. Of the 15 that completed, we have 3 that have become the Texas Certified Master Gardeners now, because you have to go through 50 hours of classroom and then you have to do 50 hours of volunteer work. And then once you do that, then you are classified as a certified Texas Master Gardener. So far, well, in fact, right at the completion of class, one lady had already completed her 50 hours because we let them work during class time when we have projects going on. We let them work to build on their 50 hours. And we have several that are real close to getting their 50 hours, which is fairly quick. As part of our training, we have speakers that come in to each of the class each week, and they talk on a variety of horticultural-related subjects. So the students read the material, and then we have somebody come in and speak on a subject related to what they had just read that chapter. Along with that, we take them on field trips because we want to let them know what's around Orange County and other places that have to deal with horticulture. One of the places that we do take them every year is to Creekwood Farms, run by Mike Beard, who grows blueberries. And his blueberries are supplied to HEB. And when his blueberries are in season and he's through the picking and providing them to HEB, HEB does not sell anybody else's blueberries but his at that time. So that's good for Orange County. You know, blueberries all over the state come from here in the April-May time frame, I believe is when it is. We take them to Shangri-La. We've been to Mercer Gardens in Houston. and we take them to some local gardens like Cottage Cuttings to let them get familiar and get to know these people. One thing that we did this year for the first time, we took a group, there was 8 of us, and we got up early one morning and drove to Overton to the Demonstration Gardens Field Day. That's where they do a lot of testing for the various plants, anywhere from vegetables to perennials, to see how they do in Texas. And they do testing for a lot of the seed companies. So their results go back to the seed companies, and they determine, if this is going to be a viable product or not, for selling seeds. And so we took 8 people up there, and they thoroughly enjoyed it. I mean, it was a long day. We left about 5:30 in the morning, didn't get home till about 8:30 at night. But they all had a good time. They all enjoyed it, and we plan on doing that again. In March, we had our annual Bloomin' Crazy plant fair. And we had 2 outside companies come in, Muldrow Bee Farm and Mid-County Farm and Feed, and they sold some products, related to the horticultural industry, along with all our plants that we sold. I'd say we probably had 300 or better people that bought things at our plant sale. This is the first plant sale since I've been in Master Gardeners that I would say between 10:30 and 11 o'clock in the morning, we were almost sold out of everything. We were already breaking tables down and trying to consolidate stuff. Yes, at Cormier Park.
Yeah, I got there about noon, and I was wanting an avocado tree, and they were gone.
You have to get there early.
Get there early next time.
Yeah, in fact, people, when we open up the gates at 7 o'clock, people are already coming in, and they sit in their cars till about 7:30 or so. Then they'll start lining up, and the line will go out from the pavilion, out past the beginning of the fence for the ag barn.
I got 3 scrawny tomato plants and 1 bell pepper.
Well, how did they do?
They did well, though.
Good, good. Very good. So that was, a big moneymaker for us this year. In February, we offered a rose care program. We partnered with the Golden Triangle Rose Society, and they brought 4 speakers in, and we had it out at Cormier Park in our greenhouse. It was a dreary, dreary, cold February Saturday morning, but we had, I believe, 10 people from the public plus 9 master gardeners that were there. And the speakers from the Rose Society went over the care, the growing, everything having to do with roses. Then at the end of the class, the last subject was propagation, and we have a demonstration garden out there of roses that we went out and they got to choose cuttings off of which roses they want so they could take home and propagate themselves. And they all really enjoyed that. Then in March, just prior to our plant sale, we had a class on Southeast Texas, growing the right plants in Southeast Texas, because there are so many plants that you think will grow here that looks real nice that may be in the store, but it doesn't necessarily grow here. Because, like, for example, I've seen, this was several years ago, raspberry plants at one of the big box stores, and I'm thinking, you can't grow raspberries down here. It's not cold enough. I mean, and looking at the tag, it said zones, and our zone 9 was not on the tag. So you have to watch things like that when you go to the store. Make sure that it's tagged for zone 9. But since we have gotten with our wholesaler, and they have developed a summer raspberry that we do sell, and it puts out raspberries 3 times usually. a good crop in the spring, late spring, a small crop in midsummer, and then another crop in the fall. And it is developed for the Texas Gulf Coast. And I have one at my house, and it's definitely is a raspberry. It's very good. In November, we presented another program, growing asparagus, recycling, and composting. And we did that in conjunction with the Field of Plenty and Orange Christian Services and Keep Orange Beautiful. Keep Orange County Beautiful, I believe is what it stands for. That day just happened to be one of the coldest days that we've had so far this year. And being that it was an outside venue, the only ones that showed up were our dedicated master gardeners. None of the public came, I guess because it was so cold, and I mean it was cold that Saturday. But we have a member, one of our newer members, who has written a book on growing asparagus, in this area. Pretty much, it'll work for any area, but she primarily did it for this area, and it was really interesting. So she's one of our master gardeners now, and so we're happy to have her. Through the Master Gardener Association, our members have worked a total of 1,197 hours this year, which equates out to volunteer money as a little bit over $25,500, which is quite a bit that we've put back into the community, and helping do things. We work real close with AgriLife, volunteering in many of their programs. For example, like the Egg and Chick School program, both Lynn and his wife are master gardeners. Our new students at the time, they worked during the sewing class and during the kids' camp, cooking camp. They had a ball working and helping the kids. And I worked one day when I was in town, and I mean it was fun, helping them cook and trying to direct them to do this, that, and the other. We do help with the Senior Rally Day. We do also go out to the Michael Hoke Outdoor Awareness. In fact, our vice president this year is Sandra Hoke, Mike's widow. We have a Master Gardener helpline that we have a gentleman, Ernest, who mans this helpline twice a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays from 10 to 2 normally. Anybody that has a question horticultural related, they can call the AgriLife office and leave a message, and he'll check it out and get back with them if it's on one of the other days that he's not there. And he answers, depending on the time of year, it could be anywhere from 10 questions a day to, a month to, 50 questions a month, just depending on the time of year. Usually his spring and fall are his busiest times. We have helped with Clover Camp with the younger kids that are not quite old enough to get into 4-H. We've also helped with the AgriLife canning and bread making class. Then, as Tommy said, we helped with his fall festival. We were the ones that presented the container gardening, showing them that the container gardens don't always have to be a herbaceous plant, your flowers or your greenery. It can be vegetables, and we showed them how that they could plant vegetables. Other activities that we're involved with, we do help with the Shangri-La and the Community of Orange annual trash off, which is fun. We have members that volunteer at the Field of Plenty. If y'all are aware of what the Field of Plenty is, it's the garden behind Orange Christian Services on Park that provides a lot of fresh vegetables to Orange Christian Services and some of the other soup kitchens, in town. Like I said, we're involved with Keep Orange County Beautiful. We do the Eco Fest at Shangri-La. One thing that we did this year, some of our students did, was worked on weeding at the Expo Center to help get the weeds out of the flower beds.
Do y'all do that on an ongoing basis, or is it that's just a one-time thing?
We did it just as that one-time thing, but we'll probably try to get something going. Since we have more members, the new class, they're younger. And so get them involved in doing it, because of the 19 members that we started the year with, I would say probably a third or maybe better are older than me, and I'll be pushing 70 next year. So,
Well, here's something for you to think about, and now that you're getting more members, at one time, the roses around the courthouse were just a show place.
Right.
And since Mr. Jones is retired, it's kind of gone away. I would love to see if y'all could maybe resurrect that project and maybe take over some of the flower beds and bring the roses back. Because that was, I heard there was just about gang fights out when they were doing the clippings for, and everybody's wanting to get some to take them home and park.
Right. That was before my time. But yes, and in fact, the roses that we have out at Cormier Park right now, since the trial is over with, we can do whatever we want to with those roses. And we had dug up some and donated them to the city of Bridge City for their gardens, but things kind of went by the wayside and they ended up dying because they were not ready they wanted the plants, but were not ready for the plants to be planted at the time. So they ended up dying on us and them because nobody was there to take care of them, and we didn't realize that they were not planted yet, since a lot of us don't go right by there. So we need to do something with a lot of the roses that we have. One thing that we're talked about doing is taking some of those plants and putting them around the train depot in that area that's between the building and Green Avenue. It's kind of sparse, and we've talked about moving some of them there. And we can see about moving some back here and, get some things going. Because we did at one time have some demonstration beds here at the courthouse, but things, we just kind of went down in membership and we're not able to take it up. And so they have just kind of been grown over and not there anymore. But I've made a note of that, and we'll look into that.
Increasing with it, maybe.
Yeah, we can work on that because we do need to work on the roses out there. One thing we did this year for the first time to kind of get us out there in the public, we volunteered at the Lions Club Carnival in the hamburger stand.
That's the fun place.
Yeah, it was fun. It kept us busy. Yeah, it wasn't slow. It was not slow. Even the night that the carnival was supposed to have opened and we had the bad rainstorm come in, we were still busy then with all the volunteers and everybody that was out there. But that was fun, and we had our shirts on and letting everybody know this is Master Gardeners. And in fact, I ended up answering a bunch of gardening type questions while we were there, which that was good. That kind of got us out there. One thing that we're going to do at our Christmas party that we have next week is we have asked all our members to bring an unwrapped toy to donate to the Bridge City Police Department's Blue Santa program, because Bridge City kind of gets left out on the, left out when things like that happen. So we're going to do that, and it'll be from the Master Gardeners. We're looking forward to our plant sale this next spring, which will be March 23rd. So put it on your calendar, Mr. Burton, March 23rd.
7 a.m.
Early,
Yeah.
Early.
Some of the programs that we're going to be looking at for next year, of course, our initial Master Gardener training. we've thought about possibly doing some home garden tours. You know, they do this in some other cities. I know they did one in Beaumont. I don't know if they still do it, but this was years ago. You know, get with the residents, 4 or 5 people that have really nice gardens, and kind of do a little home tour and, you know, garden tour, just to kind of get people out and see the community. One thing that we had planned on doing this year with our training when we did the propagation class was we were going to invite the public in. But when we had 19, 20 people in our class, you know, that kept us hopping. You know, I knew we wouldn't be able to do the general public, add them into it. But this next year, I hope to get something going to where we can have a propagation class for the general public, because I think everybody learning how to propagate their own plants is something that's kind of fun. It's because since I've gotten into it, I really enjoy doing it. And then I've thought about maybe doing something on a simple irrigation for your yard and gardens. So, but that's Master Gardeners. We meet the second Thursday of the month at the Expo Center at 6 o'clock, and anybody's welcome to come. We have a potluck supper at 6 to 6:30, so you get a free meal. And then from 6:30 to 8, we have our business meeting, and we usually try to have a speaker each month on some type of horticultural subject. So, any questions?
The only thing is, are you familiar with the Slice of Orange app that's out now in the phones?
No.
You might need to look into that and see if you can get some of your stuff on that. It's whatever's going on in Orange County. And
Okay.
So,
It's called Slice of Orange? Okay.
check with the chamber.
Okay.
That's probably the best place to go.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
They'll give you the beginner class on it. Yeah.
Talk to Lori.
Yeah, Lori Harper, HR department, Robin, come to the door, she might.
Yeah. Well, I think Lori had signed up for our class.
She did.
Yeah. But
So that's why.
something came up and she ended up not completing.
Yeah, see if I can, y'all got a lot of
Yeah.
stuff going on, you get the word out. That might-
Yeah. Because I send it out to the Penny Record and to KOGT and to the Orange Leader. And the Orange Leader and both the Penny Record are really, really good in working with us and putting the word out there, you know, that we have things going on. All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Spencer. Thank you.
I know that we're a little bit over, but Miss Steve and Michelle is going to come up and just kind of wrap it all up, and then we'll
Wrap it up and we're gonna go.
Yeah.
See if you brought some cookies, we'd been okay.
I know. Hey, if the ultimate baker, okay? You know, finally would have had brought the cookies.
Maybe we should have this presentation at Lock In Team.
Hello. Hi, we can handle that. I'm David Pivito Michelle. I'm a lifelong cattle rancher. I was raised in the cattle industry. My parents were Glenn and Zelda Pivito, and still one of my uncles is still alive, still ranching. But the cattle industry is very near and dear to my heart, and always has been. My dad had no sons. He had my sister and I. So yes, we were raised like cowboys. Ride, rope. Yes, I can ride. I can rope. I still ride my cutting horse. Anyway, I started volunteering in the AgriLife. And somehow I got to be president of some things and co-presidents. I'm not really sure how that develops. Hello! The bad part was I was there and it still happened. But anyway, I am co-president of our lab committee, which we're the leadership advisory board. We kind of see over the other things. Really, they all run themselves. Hallelujah. As you can tell, they're a wonderful group of people. I'm on a couple of other committees. AgriLife is very important to our area. It is different from FFA, Future Farmers of America, which I was very big in high school as well. First person in Orangefield, the one little girl was from Orangefield. First woman, girl from Orangefield to get their Lone Star Farmer degree. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. Showed all my life, cattle and that type of stuff. FFA, like I say, is different than our 4-H. Our 4-H is huge. the opportunities, as y'all see, it gives them in life just a huge perspective of things. Even in their cooking, they're working on their math skills. Old school teacher here. Just they learn how to lead. If you're going to hire somebody and you say, what experience do you have? Oh, I was on this, I was on that. The programs are great. We're losing Heston again. We are going through ag people like it's crazy. It doesn't pay, and unfortunately, it doesn't pay. The hours are huge. They have to have so many programs. They have to travel. When these kids show, they have to be there. It's weekends, it's nights. There is no overtime. It's comp time, but then you're griped at for not being in your job during the day because they need you there. It's just a demanding job. It actually, unless you're there every day to see it, you don't really understand it. One of our committees put on had our ranchers for our area. We did a seminar for them, about 50, 60?
Yeah, it was like 58.
58, I would say 50, 60, I couldn't remember the exact number, came. We had Dr. Moe come and talk to us, veterinarian down here in southeast Texas on the Gulf Coast, because a lot of the things you get and you learn, the medicines, the feeds, everything's for anything north of us. The Gulf Coast is different. We're down here, we're different. Texas is the largest cattle producing state in the United States. Orange County does still have quite a few large ranchers. Some you may know and may not know. Dr. Jones, did y'all know he was in the cattle industry? Wayne Pivito, my uncle. There's still Bobby Cormier. I mean, there's still a lot of them. There's a lot of older ranchers, and there's a few of us that are a little bit younger, but there's not a whole lot of young ones. But anyway, and so that's what we're here for. That's why the groups are here. We try to have learning situations to get these younger people in, to be passionate and to grow about it. We are still recovering from Hurricane Harvey. Believe it or not, we're still recovering with some things all the way back as Hurricane Ike and Hurricane Rita. It is just when you're devastated. I know personally on our ranch, we had $275,000 worth of fence repair after Hurricane Rita. 3 years later, we had Hurricane Ike. It wiped away everything else that was left. The new fence we'd finished 6 months before took us 2.5 years to fix it. We washed it all away, and we had to start over one more time. The only thing is we didn't have to deal with all the debris. That was gone. But anyway, there's a lot of programs out there. We appreciate y'all supporting them. We know y'all get emails. They have a monthly newsletter that talks about what is going on to share. Social media, to its devices, it's got good and it's got bad, and we see that. But you can get out there on social media. When the hurricane came, I called Fallon. Fallon was our only ag person. I said, you need to get a hold to the ag people, whoever, we need help. Over 50 counties in the state of Texas were damaged. I mean, it was huge. They sent people out. Through social media, we had over a ton of hay delivered to Cowboy Church. We distributed. They even sent the Chinooks. Some of y'all were here. We talked about it last year. The Chinooks that came and the feed were still suffering. Before the hurricane, we donated. Orange County headed the drive to gather money and hay and send out to West Texas. They had all the fires. They were having severe fires. They didn't have any hay. They had no grass, nothing. We shipped out there. We have Hurricane Harvey. What has it done since Hurricane Harvey? Rain. Can't make hay in the rain. In one of my fields, I got about $50,000 or $60,000 worth of hay that's just sitting there. Can't even cut it. But anyway, our programs are great. We appreciate y'all's support. Look at your emails. If you get an opportunity, come to something. Invite it, share it, get on social media, because Orange County supports our people. Every state in the United States sent something except for Alaska and Hawaii. Even Canada sent us stuff to support us down here in Orange County. It was unbelievable. Still, I tear up sometimes when I talk about it. It's just massive. But we'd love to have y'all out. Appreciate all y'all's support. Any questions?
No, but I would definitely check into because that's a lot of good information, but that slice of orange.
Yes.
So many of us use social media now.
Download it now.
I had forgotten about it. I have it downloaded. My friend Tina, she and I, we sort together. We go to eat every Wednesday night. It's kind of like us and our husbands. But anyway, she had told me about it, and I knew that they were doing it, and that's how Women of Agriculture is how I got volunteers to, I put it on, when I was sitting at home in the rain and said, oh my God, I don't know what we're going to do, we're drowning. Y'all would not believe the philanthropists that are out there in this world. They have warehouses set up where they said, what do you want? We need toilet paper and paper towels. Okay, they sent us those roll-up container thingies, a case of toilet paper and a case of paper towels. They were sitting there about the next day, day and a half. You know, it's just unbelievable. But anyway, if we can help y'all with something, let us know. We definitely need y'all's support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, thank you all for who spoke today. I really appreciate it. As you can see, Extension has so much going on. It's still some stuff we still didn't cover, but we tried to give you as much as we can. But we really appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to some of the programs that we have at the Extension office.
Thank you, Val.
Thank
And yeah, look, I read the email in front and behind, the one that you sent. Somehow I missed yours, so sorry to see you go. Thank you for what you've done here.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
We are too, but I know that family was going to want that new little grandbaby home, so I knew he was not going to stay.
I understand that.
You preach it quiet.
I understand that.
But like I say, I know
Preach it
personally some
quiet.
of the extra efforts you've gone to and bringing some new sources for livestock into the county and improving some of the gene stock we have here. So I appreciate that, and I wish you the best of what you're going to be doing.
Thanks, Heston. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Best of luck to you in the future. Tommy, appreciate you. Val and everybody, all the volunteers and all the people that are involved. Thanks for.
And thank you to all the volunteers, even you, Kevin. Even you. Thank you to all the volunteers and the folks who put all that together.
You show up before we think you get a little more respect, buddy.
I'm used to it. He dishes it out as well as
I've been on that other end of that.
But again, thanks for all the volunteers. Thank you to the kids that came out and y'all gave really good presentations, and we appreciate that. Y'all did a great job. Thank y'all.
Caitlin, right? Catalina, okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Yeah, and like I say, thank you for all this is, I've said every year, this is my favorite presentation of the year. Usually because they bring cookies or donuts.
He said a couple times.
I know. I think the next year.
They bring the cookie winners in here with samples.
Talk about a cooking class with no food.
I know.
But even without it, it's still a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank y'all very much.
Thank y'all. Thanks for having us.